got Big Ten action. Wisconsin, Michigan State. Wisconsin now currently in this one, 7-point road favorites at East Lansing, up from 5, 48 the total. I agree with the move. I do. I don't love the idea of laying points on the road with Wisconsin. I don't, but there was clearly a light bulb that turned on and a light switch that flipped last week against Northwestern. 42-7, all over Northwestern. It was the first game after the firing of Paul Chryst, and a very well-liked, well-respected guy taking over as the interim head coach, the defensive coordinator for Wisconsin, Jim Leonard. Of course, had an NFL playing career for many years as well. People really respect. People think he's going to be a head coach, if not at Wisconsin, full-time somewhere in college football at some point. And I guess this is his audition to be the permanent head coach of Wisconsin. What a first showing. I mean, that looked like a completely different Wisconsin team last week against Northwestern. The run game, which had been non-existent this year, Braylon Allen finally gets going, 135 rushing yards. Graham Mertz, am I seeing this right? I got to wipe the sleep out of my eyes or the grunge out of my eyes. Am I seeing this? Graham Mertz, 20 for 29, 299 passing yards, 5 passing touchdowns, and no interceptions last week against Northwestern. My gosh. Where is Graham Mertz, and what have you done with him? My goodness. Talk about a great stat line, and he hasn't had many in his career at Wisconsin. So clearly there's definitely a little bit of an energy boost given to this Wisconsin football team with the coaching change. And look, Michigan State's in a world of hurt. 0-4 straight up, 0-4 against the spread. They've got injuries on both sides of the ball. They're getting blown out on a weekly basis. Washington, Minnesota, Maryland, Ohio State. They hung tough early in the game, but then it got away from them in the second half, and they lose 49-20. The defense has just completely been unable to stop anybody. I get it why people like Wisconsin here. I really do. I think it's just a world of difference in terms of just where these teams are going right now. Wisconsin already showed you so much better. One game with Leonard at coach, and Michigan State, hard team to back right now. And I think the betting markets certainly feel the same way. What do you think here, Conor? Wisconsin, Michigan State.
Yeah, Wisconsin, you talked about. Mertz finally has a good game. Northwestern, though, was rough. Turnovers right away. They just done. I mean, I don't know if they at least 4 or 5 in that game. Just that was not good at all. But Wisconsin back on track. But another, game on the road, back to back. The problem is, you mentioned Michigan State is just rough. Payne Thorne, I think he's got 8 and 7 or 9 and 7 touchdown to interception. He hasn't looked very good. The defense hasn't been very good. The secondary, they always been to hang their hat there at Michigan State in years past. They can't do it. In this rivalry, the Dogs been very good the last 6. It's 5-1 ATS. But when I saw this, I need more than 10 to think about Michigan State. I don't think a touchdown's enough. As much as I want to bet, I'm not going to rush to back Wisconsin though, laying a touchdown here. But yeah, so I'm just going to pass. And Michigan State, I can't trust the total here, not the under at least, because they're not very good defensively. So yeah, right now this game's a full pass for me.
All right, we continue along. Western Kentucky, Middle Tennessee State. Western Kentucky, 7.5, 8-point road favorites. That's gone up a bit. Total 66, now up to 67.5. That's gone up a bit. And I definitely like that move in the total. I agree with it fully. I think this Western Kentucky offense, it's been good this year, Western Kentucky. Tough loss last week for them, obviously. It seems like when you look at this Western Kentucky squad, their offense, like I said, very, very good overall. Another crippling loss to UTSA right there, and they lose 31-28 at the end. But no, I think there's not been much of a quarterback downgrade from Zappe to Austin Reed. Austin Reed's played very well at the quarterback spot this season for Western Kentucky, throwing the ball with a great deal of effectiveness. Of course, still a very pass-heavy offense. They don't run the football a ton. Well, that fits perfectly against Middle Tennessee. They have a horrible secondary. Frank Harris and UTSA picked them apart. Dylan Hopkins and UAB picked apart Middle Tennessee's secondary last week. I think Western Kentucky will do the same. But Middle Tennessee will score. Chase Cunningham's a good enough quarterback, and Western Kentucky's defense against the pass isn't spectacular by any stretch of the imagination. So should see a lot of points. I think that's the best way to bet this game. Conor, what do you think? WKU, MTSU?
Yeah, Middle Tennessee just can't stop a nosebleed, it seems like, and this is not the team you want to be facing. Maybe look, Western Kentucky team totally, or even though it'll be high, because over the touchdown now, I don't know if they cover it. I think they do. I'd lean that here. And this open, as long as it's 60 under 68, we mentioned that. I think the over you got to get there. I think Middle Tennessee will score on Western Kentucky. So I agree with you. I lean over. And I lean Western Kentucky a little bit. Don't love the touchdown on the road, but maybe look team total or look to them early here.